All right, so I'm going to be demonstrating the event mood thought record. It's a technique that is basic to all kinds of emotional regulation and cognitive behavioral type exercises. And basically, all it is an insight based exercise where the person comes to understand what's going on inside of them. So you're laying the foundation for being able to change what is going on inside by understanding what's there as it stands. So in order to demonstrate this technique, I have my lovely role play model, Kimmy, and we're going to actually work through some things that she's been through recently. I'm the therapist and she's the client. Kimmy, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for being willing to help out.
Mhm.
Okay, so into therapist client mode here, we're going to do the event mood thought record. So so Kimmy, you've been going through some stuff lately, huh?
Yeah, I just graduated from school
Okay.
and I became a licensed esthetician,
Oh,
and I am having a tough time finding a job.
oh, wow. So you graduated, how long was the schooling?
It was almost a year with
Wow.
the testing included.
Mhm.
It was almost a year.
And if I remember what you've told me before, it was like, you did fairly well in school. Different times were challenging, but for the most part, you did well. But then passing that state licensure was tough, right?
Yeah, that was really tough. So it kind of um it took some wind out of me.
Uh-huh. So at different points in this process, you've been challenged by what the task at hand, right?
Yes, exactly.
And yet you push through those barriers, and now you're facing another barrier, and that's actually finding a job.
Yes, exactly.
And I can also see where it'd be really tough because everything is led up to this moment, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
So what's going on for you emotionally, in that moment? Are you feeling pressure, or what would you describe it?
I am feeling an insane amount of pressure because I've done all I can on this end. I've done well in school. It was a little bit difficult for me to pass the test, but I did that. Um I just feel like the pressure is on.
Mhm.
It's time to get a job, and if anything I'm psyching myself out a little
Yeah.
bit.
So can you think of a specific incident where these pressures and the anxieties associated with them kind of mounted?
Like an instance of kind of kind of falling flat on my face, or
Yeah. At that point where, sort of a story that encapsulates the larger story of what you're going through.
well, I think it's been a bit stop and go since I graduated, and I think especially studying for that test, I had to retake it, and
Okay.
unfortunately, I wasn't given the correct studying material, and with the help of some of my classmates, I was able to find the right study material. But that kind of, you have this momentum in school. You're
Yeah,
excited and
yeah,
psyched about everything. You have your
yeah,
classmates cheering you on, your teachers cheering you on.
yeah.
And then once you leave school, it's all up to you to pass that test. And I think that's where I kind of felt like I flopped.
Well, this is great. So there's all this support, and then all of a sudden the support is gone, right? So let's take the incident of flunking that test, okay? And let's break that down into this event, mood, thought sequence that I've been talking to you about. So the event was obviously, it's always easy to identify the distressing event, right? You know what happened that made you upset. And so in this case, it's obvious what it is. You flunked your test. Um, can you tell me the emotions that were associated with that?
Um, Shame, failure. I'm never gonna be an esthetician. I don't know why I even tried. So a little bit of what's that called? Imposter syndrome.
Mhm. Well, wait a minute. Don't analyze it too much. Just tell me what the emotions are. We'll get into the analysis in a minute. The emotions
That's
are
your
shame.
job, yes. I'm shameful, embarrassed, feeling stupid.
An incredible level of self-consciousness, right?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So you said shame, embarrassed, and self-consciousness and feeling
Yeah.
stupid. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Now let's move. We know the event. The event is you flunked the test the first time you took it. And the associated emotion was a lot of shame emotions, basically. Self-consciousness, shame, and embarrassment are all really from the same sort of wellspring of emotions. And have you struggled with that a lot in your life, those shame emotions? Yeah.
Yeah, school's always been, it's not that I wasn't a good student, but I just have had a tough relationship with school. I have the general like understanding of things, but school, I just kind of didn't always love it.
Yeah. You had some academic struggles because of some things going on in your life when you were younger. And then out of that, you developed an association of failure and shame of failure with going to school, right?
Mhm.
And so
Yeah,
going back to school to become an esthetician was a big deal, right? Because you're
yeah,
facing all those giants, right?
exactly.
Yeah. And then you flunk the test.
Yeah, and it's like triggers that thing where I feel like a idiot again.
Mhm.
I mean, I was never an idiot in school. I just had some things going on that made me not able to
Right,
focus on
right.
schoolwork.
Okay, so again, the event is flunking the test. The emotions are shame emotions, self-consciousness, embarrassment, shame. Let's talk about the story you're telling yourself while you're feeling these things and while this is all happening. What is the thought that sort of underpins those shame emotions? What are you telling yourself? And let's break it down into what are you telling yourself about yourself, first of all?
I
Put it
was
in a
telling
sentence. Don't think
myself,
too hard about it. Just put it in a sentence.
I was
I
telling myself that I wasn't good enough,
I'm not good enough. What are you telling yourself about the future?
that I should just give up.
That it'll never change and there's no point, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And what are you telling yourself about other people?
that they're smarter than me
That
and
you're
better than me.
that you're the outlier and that you're somehow completely inferior to everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so what we'll do in the next video is go through a process of changing those ideas. But for now, what we've done is we have identified the event, which was flunking this test, the mood or feelings associated with that flunk, and then the thoughts associated with that event and the feelings associated with it. You've done an excellent job at identifying those things. You're very insightful, and this has been super helpful and will be helpful to other people. So, God bless you, little girl, and we'll move on to another exercise in our next
Okay.
video. And I
All
called her
right.
little girl because she's my daughter. So, sorry, guys. All right, excellent job.